Okay.
I'm gonna see if this works right. And then we may have a little bit of downtime when we switch to the game, but, well, we'll just
Yeah.
have to see. I should probably move this over here so I can see if the stream is live. Oh, I lost your face.
Come on.
All
There we
right.
go.
You can see my patchy work. Welcome to the podcast, people. I know I don't have a fancy music intro. I know I don't have all of the best pan swipes or whatever you're expecting from my editing potential, but what we do have is a camera, another camera, and a title, and some stuff here. I wish it was hyperlinked, but it's a video, so I did what I could. But that said, the Secret Cal Level podcast, Two's company, Corey, Derek. Oh,
Hi, folks.
so we've not been around for a while. Apologies. Mo is going through some stuff right now. He'd rather not focus on the stream, so we're just gonna take over without him. We're still going to be doing the Extra Life campaign. We'll talk more about that later, but don't worry, we're still gonna have Mo around. I've been pretty busy, but I want to hear what's going on with you, Derek.
Well, lately I've been playing this game. I put it off for a while, came back to it. I'm not really sure why. It's called IRL, and I think it's kind of overrated. I don't know why I keep coming back to it. I feel like I've really devoted way more energy to it than it's worth. Like, the progression is super, just tediously slow, and I mean, the graphics are pretty good, but I've seen better. And I'm really disappointed in the developers for how much weight they put on RNG.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
it's got tripping. I mean, nobody likes that.
It can't meet
and-
the competitive standard of a lot of other things. I gotta say that.
Yeah, the balance is totally wonky. Don't get me started on the pay-to-win aspect. It's just ruining the whole player base. And
the developers don't seem to care at all.
yeah,
They just let it go.
They have not listened. They've not replied to a single one of my Facebook posts. Just assholes. And frankly, if you don't roll high stats at character creation, you're pretty much boned for the whole game anyway. So
I have to question who QA'd this. Because, really, their team must have been terrible. Did they even QA? You know what, I bet they just launched and said, we'll patch it later. And they just never got around to it. Not nearly as fun, though. I gotta say. At least when Bethesda lets you, well, that may have a lot to do with save states. IRL needs some save states.
That's true. Yeah, I think taking it offline and emulating it would be much better.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, modding IRL? I'd be in that community. I'm sure.
Yep.
Well, no. Immediately, it would be all naked anime chicks all over the place.
The furries ruin everything. Anyway, what I actually have been doing very recently, my girlfriend and I picked up a new hobby. You probably saw pictures on Facebook. Super hyped. So I'm big into tabletop pen and paper games, as you may have heard, and I'm gonna be. Normally I play a lot. I've GM'd a couple times. I've been sort of down on myself for my GM capabilities, but I'm also one of those people who expects myself to be perfect at something as soon as I start, and that's really terrible. It's not how shit works. So I'm backing off that a little bit, and also doing what I should have done, which is I'm gonna run a pre-made campaign for our group, and I was hesitant to do that because I felt like I needed to go, because there's billions of pre-made games out there, and I had to sift through them all and read 1,000 reviews. And find ones that were good, but recently WebDM, a YouTube series I like a lot, they do a lot of 5th edition content, because that's the big thing, and they love D&D, so they're doing a lot of 5th ed content, but one of the hosts is a massive Warhammer Fantasy fan. That's what he started on.
That's a huge investment.
Yeah. But I've been a big fan of Warhammer Fantasy, which is weird because I haven't actually played it. It's one of those mini games that a couple of my friends from out in Phoenix and I started to play, but never actually did. We do that repeatedly with so many different systems, but the one that I would just kind of remember every once in a while and think to myself, we should play some of that again, and then go on to forget again and not do shit about it. They did a talk about it, how much they love it, how great it is, reminded me how much I really wanted to play it, and mentioned a pre-made adventure path. It's a series of I think 6 adventures. The last 2 kind of suck, but we ignore those. But it's the Enemy Within, which, according to WebDM's description of it, and basically every other review or description of the adventure path I ever read, it almost always included the phrase best pre-made adventure in any series, or my favorite pre-made adventure I've played in any series. Like, basically it's one of those systems that or one of those pre-made adventures that experienced, longtime role players will say, like, this is one of the adventures that if you ever get the chance to play, you should. Everyone should play this. And they just talked about how amazing it is, and it's so I managed to find PDFs of the adventure and all the core books online. Didn't really feel as, like, terrible because the books have been out of print for like 20 years, so it's not really pirating anymore. Like, they made 3rd edition like 8 or 10 years ago, and it was largely terrible from everything I heard, and totally gave up on 2nd edition, which is what we're going to be playing, the good one. Quick aside, because I'm a pedant and I have to mention these details. The Enemy Within is a Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 1st edition adventure path, but 2nd edition, which is really the one you should play, it's basically just a kind of polished version of 1st edition, so it converts super easily. They mostly condensed a handful of skills and characteristics and stuff together, but yeah, super hyped about that. And on top of that, I'm going to be starting that in, like, I don't know, probably early next month.
Oh, I thought you had already started it.
No, not that one. We're waiting until we can wrap up the current arc of our 5th edition game that my friend Matt's running for us, and then we're gonna switch gears to me GMing and letting Matt actually roleplay for once, and playing some Warhammer Fantasy. To prepare for that, the new hobby my girlfriend and I got into, because roleplaying is not new. We do this all the time. I've always liked, like, have you ever seen, like, the Dwarven Forge stuff? They're the kind of the creme de la creme of, like battle map props. They have, like, 3D printed, hand painted, like, pieces of dungeon. You can kind of, my hands on the camera can actually see them. You can, like, lay them together and, like, basically just, like, Minecraft out your whole dungeon with, ramps and stairs and hallways and
that's cool.
Pedestals and stuff, and they're gorgeous and amazing, and they're really expensive because they're really gorgeous and amazing. An alternate for that is way, way, way cheaper is there's a company called Fat Dragon Games. Well, if you're lucky enough to have a 3D printer of your own, they sell you files to 3D print your own stuff. I don't have one, but I do have a cheapo like $45 printer I bought from Walmart on sale, which I can use to buy to print off the PDFs they have for paper crafting, tabletop props. You print it out on cardstock, cut it out, and score it with X-Acto knives, and fold it and glue it all together, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I saw the picture you posted to Facebook. They're pretty cool looking.
Probably look kind of terrible on webcam, but I've got bits and pieces here. Like, this is a little, like, we started with all the stuff to put to make the horse and coaches coaching in, which is where the first adventure of the Enemy Within starts out. You can kind of see there's a table and benches. I'll just drop that. Like, if I can get my lighting to work right. There we go. You can kind of see there's, like, cups and stuff on the top. They're pretty simple. They're designed for early, like, beginner paper crafters. This one's kind of cool. It doesn't look super great, but you realize that it's a tree that you can actually put people up in. So you can have people climb the tree, set them up on a platform, and they've got ground tiles. This one's a path, and what's really cool is for like the terrain pieces and the walls and even the tables and stuff. The PDFs have layers that you can reveal and hide to change the details. So like those tables, they've got like plates and mugs and food on them, and some like wood stain. You can make them like brand shiny new wooden tables. You can swap out all the dishes and food for like swords and blood spatter, depending on what kind of inn you're making. For the ground, you can swap out like dirt or grass or a combination, or snow terrain, stuff like that.
So they're all just active layers on the PDF?
Yeah. And
so
you can just go into layers and just swap them all in and out.
So you could technically have a bloody weapon-covered feast table with drinks on it all at the same time.
Yeah, and they actually line them up so with most of them, you can have everything on, and it won't like have like a sword through a cup or anything weird like that. They're laid out in ways that they'll make sense. But yeah, you could have it just be like, you know, a big rowdy tavern in the shitty part of town where there's swords and blood and food and drinks all over the place. Like on the paths, the dirt path that I showed, there's even an option. There's an option for like having cart tracks or having it be clear. You can put leaves on it. There's even horse shit you can turn on and off. There's a poop layer. It's authenticity.
Okay. That's pretty cool, but it makes me a little sad that I dropped like a bunch of money on a mat so that I could draw on it with
a mat is a good staple. Like, you're gonna need that for ad hoc things. Like, I couldn't possibly paper craft an entire universe for the players to, you know, go do. There's the plot right over. Oh, that way. Let's go this way. Right over there. Over that mountain and across the ocean. Fuck you. And your story.
I'm now 3 sessions into my GMing campaign. We're about to do, not about to, I think we do it on and off every other week. So I have another week to get ready for the 4th session. I've had this campaign ready for a while, and I tried to start it once with some people, and then it fell through before the first session. So it's gotten a lot of time to mature and build up. And I really like how it's going. The only problem I've had so far is I've got murder hobos. Well, okay, not my only problem. My first problem was the fact that I had 3 people I thought I was doing this campaign for. My roommate and my friend and his fiance. So it was going to be 3 players, me GMing, no problem. And then they were like, well, can our friend come? He's been playing for a while and he really wants to get in on another game. And I'm like, oh, I totally understand that. I love playing D&D. Yeah, sure, come on over. So then he gets invited in, and then I've got my roommate going, oh, hey, my friend really wants to hang out with us more. This would be a great chance for him to do that. He's never played. It'd be his first time. And I was like, oh, man, this is getting pretty big. So I don't know if I could do 5 people, but, you know, I really want more new people to get into it. And I'm going to have, like, a bunch of experienced people there, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Yeah, you know what? He can come along, too. And so, like, the day of, the friend and the fiance are like, oh, hey, so our roommate is going to have to come with us very often because we're going to go watch football on Sundays after the game, and he's going to want to come with us. So he's going to be here every time just hanging around. He should probably join the campaign too. And I'm like, let's see. So our first session, I had 5 people and like a spectator, because he had never played either. He'd never played the game before. So he kind of just sat there and watched us play. And the first game was pretty cringeworthy just because everyone was still feeling out their characters and had a new player, and the experienced player decided to make a really douchebaggy character. And that's not really too bad. Just he had a lot of character to him. But I don't think he was neutral. I think he was evil. To be honest, I like I said, I have a bunch of murder hobos in my band, so I know they're just looking for any excuse to shank something and grab stuff. But this guy was an affluent rich person that would basically shoot first and never ask a question. And they were supposed to be basically guards working for the queen. It was supposed to be good, or you're supposed to be neutral and there for the money. And this guy wasn't there for any reason other than to blow stuff up. So in the first episode, I basically killed his character, and he had to make a new character. And he made a monk with amnesia, and they're pretty much just an asshole and they don't know why. And you know what? It's fine, because he's at least not blowing things up. He's just a monk punching things. Still pretty much like... Alright, and we have a rogue on our team that literally can't go 10 minutes without trying to shank someone or steal their stuff. And I don't know how he's not evil, but he's also so incompetent that he hasn't been able to be evil. He's tried to steal so much stuff and failed the sneaks. He's tried to, like, sleight of hand and rolled low on them. He's done pretty well at shooting things, so, like, when they have to actually get in a fight and he pulls out his bow, he does his job. But, man, if he ever tries to do anything evil, just karma goes no. You get ones, you get twos. He doesn't get to do anything wrong, but his character's trying. He's trying really hard. And I may have to break his neck, too.
I was gonna say, like, this is where I would personally remind you that that field on the character sheet that says alignment next to it doesn't dictate the character. The character dictates it. If you go around stabbing random people, that field is going to suddenly change itself to have an E in it. That's just how that works. And you as the god of their universe, get to tell them you're evil.
I spent the first 2 episodes reminding them, you're guards. When someone does something wrong, you apprehend them and then bring them to justice. And every time they're like, that guy's stealing! Shoot him! And I'm like, oh my god! So, like, just in the last episode, Rogue, I have him, I asked him what his passive perception was. He told me what it was. And so as he was walking into a tavern, a bunch of people came out and one person bumped into him. And he was like, oh, that person stole from me. And I was like, I guess you have the wisdom to think that? Okay, sure. You follow him then. And so he's like going, thief! Stop him! Thief! And the thief doesn't stop. So he's like, okay, I pull out my bow. And I'm like, so, you're a guard. This guy stole from you, and you're in the middle of the street, and you pull out your bow and you go to shoot him. Yes. Okay, you do it. Roll to hit, and he hit him, and I just made him, like, limp as he run, like, okay, now you can, like, catch up to him and do stuff. I draw another arrow. I'm like, oh my god. Okay. So, I'm like, now, okay, this character is supposed to be important. He's supposed to do some things. He stole from him to lead him on, like, a cat and mouse chase kind of thing. And he's just gonna unload on him. And if I don't put distance between them really quickly, and I already kind of shoehorned myself with him being crippled and kind of waddling to try to get him to arrest him instead. And then I'm like, oh god. Why can't I just be a player? I gotta GM the shit. But it's fine. I think they're having a good time. It's a lot of people, because that guy ended up joining after that. He had a good time, and he's going to be there anyway. So I've got 6 players. I'm GMing, and they're a bunch of murder hobos. It's crazy, but I'm enjoying having D&D in my life again, at least.
Yeah. I don't know. Not to try and, like, tell you how to run your game, but it sounds to me like your campaign is going to center around them trying to escape the authorities, because they're going to get arrested or murdered pretty soon.
Well, spoilers. I had them thrown in jail, and then they broke out of jail, and now they're wanted.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, like, like I said, I had this campaign built, and I had it matured, and I put a lot of love and care into it. And there's always been outs. There's been branches here. They basically have to... I made an island which you could not escape. There's like a fucking vortex of death in the middle of it because it's a whirlpool. It's like an island that had the middle sunk out of it. And so there's a massive current that comes into it, and on the inside it just goes down into a spiral of death. So you end up with all these ships that wind up on the island, people survive, but nobody can leave it, and the island's pretty small, but it's super deadly and dangerous. As soon as you venture off into the jungle, people just die. So they built up a real shamble of a city. So I was like, okay, I pretty much cornered them, and I've left them a railroad track. I don't need to put them on a train and push them down it. I just left an island with a railroad track, and eventually they'll get to the end of the track. And it's going fine. They've moved from place to place. They've done a couple things, and I've even removed my my like NPC avatar from the group now, and I'm just gonna kind of let them go. They're out of like the training area in a different way than I kind of expected at the beginning, but it's fine. They're out of the noob area, and they're going out into like World 1 now. And I'm fine with that. It's at a good spot. I think people are understanding their characters now. They're interacting with each other better. I like where it's going. It was just a little bumpy at the start.
Yeah.
But it's so good. Outside of that, though, Warframe. We got to talk about this. I talked about it with Mo a little bit, and I've been playing a lot more of it. And I've got to say, opinion's not changed much. I'm not sure if you listened to my opinion the last time, but basically, it's easy. It's too easy. The only way I can make it hard for me is to intentionally go into the super high level areas that my roommate can get me into when I've got brand new equipment on. If it's not that situation, there's like a 99% chance that I'm gonna win. The only reason I would lose was there was like a timer and I didn't realize it, or I didn't read the objective, and I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to protect this thing? Oops.
Yeah, it's an escort quest.
Yeah. Outside of that, it's just like, it's mindless mashing button, and that's it. You just...
Yeah. I did play Warframe for a while. I had some friends out in Phoenix that I stayed in touch with for a while, partially through Warframe, but the majority of my play in it was being brought into super high level zones as a total noob, low level character. And it's not really much more fun than what you're describing, because mostly I just walk around and hide from things and watch them kill stuff and never die. And even me, like, unless I just sort of put myself in the middle of a meat grinder, I could basically go, oop, it touched me, I'm in half health, and then just leave.
Yeah.
And then pull up. I was pretty much fine. I really like the movement system, and I like the combat when you pick the right kind of frame. One of the later ones, and I'm forgetting the name because the name is...
What does it do?
It's based off of it's flaming roller skates character with the giant flaming hula hoop.
I'm making that character right now. I think it's like Fiora or something like that.
No, someone different. This is the one. It's named after a
Neza.
Yeah, Neja, I think. I had to like Google the pronunciation. It's based off of, I think, a Hindu legendary hero. But yeah, Neja, really cool.
In Chinese folklore, Neja is known as a protection deity and is the third son of Li Jing. He is also known by his title of Third Lotus Prince.
Yes. He killed some bad, evil people with a spear and stuff, so... he's got flamey wheels under his feet. But yeah, just super cool, because it's basically a normal Warframe character. More, like, faster and more mobile than normal. And they have a secret passive that basically just lowers friction for them. So it's like they're on roller skates all the time. Like you just ice skate around the world.
When was the last time you played it?
A little while after Neja came out. So like probably a year and a half ago.
Because I don't know when they changed it, but my roommate tells me that before the movement system was different, and it's even easier now. And
yes, it was. Yeah, I played after that. Okay. I played before and after it. But yeah, before that, it was. It's more. It's not like necessarily easier. Like I think that was a good change, because before it was kind of like. Imagine if you had Melee and you got wave dashing, and they made basically if they went the total opposite direction with Brawl and just embraced all of the exploitation, just put in a wave dash button.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what they did. Like, you can now hit the button to do a long jump instead of having to doing a lot of the acrobatic stuff before was kind of like rocket jumping in TF2. You had to hit 3 buttons at the same time, but 2 of them not at the same time, and one immediately after the other within 2 frames, and DI while in midair, but backwards, because if you DI the normal way, you'll go upside down. It was just stupid bullshit like that.
Yeah. It went from a manipulation to a macro.
Yeah. It was just needless keyboard dexterity. I don't see a lot of benefit in that, especially when it's not a PvP game. Mm-hmm. There's a little elitism sort of has a place in PvP because that is a type of skill cap, though it's a very shallow type of increase in skill cap, so I'm not that big of a fan of it. But in a PvE game, there's no reason. It's just it's like saying the game is more challenging because it's got bad controls. No.
Yeah, that's a frequent problem I have with the Dark Souls games is they obviously could always improve the mechanics, and that would actually make the game probably easy. I'm not going to say it would be just... it would be easier. There's not a different way to put that. If the controls weren't half the battle, then Dark Souls would be easier.
It would be easier, but not less challenging. Because to me, I think I've had this conversation here before, but difficulty and challenge are different.
Mm-hmm.
My example is always Final Fantasy XI is extremely difficult to play, but I didn't do a single thing in the 3+ years that I played that game for that was ever more than vaguely challenging. Because if I died to something, it was because my gear wasn't good enough. How do you beat that thing? You go get better gear and bring 2 black mages instead of 1. That's the game. Do you have the 2.5 classes you have to have and the appropriate level of in-game gear? No, you die. Yes, you win. It's binary. There was never any skill challenge involved. But the game was incredibly difficult because everything, just starting out leveling up. You walk outside and you try not to die until you hit level 9 or 10. You just, I can kill only the weakest thing that is in the game, because I'm level 1. If the second weakest thing in the game finds me, I die, and lose experience. That's how you start. That is level 1, and it's not challenging. When you find the weakest thing, you click on it and click the attack button, and then wait for it to die. That's it. There's no challenge there. It's just difficult, because if while you're fighting that, something else random paths over to you, you die. Then once you finish that, you have to get yourself across the world to a different continent, to the zone where everyone parties. And you have to go through, depending on which area you start in, 3 to 6 zones, all of which are completely full of auto-aggro enemies that will 2-shot you. And that's just how you play the game. You do that, and you continue to repeat that through 7 zones until you hit in-game, and then you make 2 friends who are playing black mages, get them to get you in-game gear, and then go succeed at in-game. That's it. That's the whole fucking game. And so that's an example. Yeah.
To tie this back into Warframe, I gotta say, neither difficult nor challenging. There's not... The thing that gets me most about the game is that it has such satisfying things in it. The platforming, so good. The game loop of you level up this gear and equipment, and then you get ranks as a passive for leveling things up. But you have limited inventory space, so you don't just get an arsenal of things. So you level something up, you build something else. When it finishes, you sell the old shit, you put on the new stuff, and you level it up. And it's a really cool game loop because it forces you to play as a whole bunch of different things in order to get progression otherwise. It makes you introduced to other mechanics. There's 14 different kinds of objective types in the game. There's so many different kinds of quests. The problem is that none of them challenge you. There's the most difficult hacking game, like what they do as their top tier hard hack, is giving you 10 seconds to do this mini game where you have like a bunch of slots around a circle and a little spinny dial, and you smash the spacebar button when it's over one to make it pull out, and you need to have all of them pull out, and the thing moves pretty quick. So you just need to hit the spacebar at the right time. And on the difficult ones, after hitting spacebar, it bounces back in the other direction. So what they do is go, ooh, if we're going to make it super difficult, we'll turn them all on and make you have to do it with it going fast and going back and forth. Problem there is, guys, once you've made it so that they're all there and it moves at the same speed and it acts the same way every time, I just need a rhythm. Dut, 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 dut. It makes the hardest hack easier than like the medium hard ones, because the medium hard ones, you get a mix match of some of them keep on going in a circle, some of them bouncing back, and not all of the slots are filled. I would rather do a max level hack or an easy level hack than the medium hack. And there's something wrong with that. That's kind of stupid. But
also, though, none of them are fun.
Yeah. It's just
it's not a strategy. It's like a really, really boring rhythm game. There's no music.
Or the clicky one where you spin the dots. There's never like an interesting puzzle to that either. Like, they're like, okay, you get some tiles, they've got lines on them, and you need to make all the lines connect. The only problem is that it's always immediately self-evident until you get to the very hardest ones. But the very hardest ones, you know what the strategy is? You do the outside ones, make them connect, and then you keep clicking the center one until it finishes.
Spin it.
That's all you have to... So, again, like, I know it's supposed to be a shooting game, and it's also an MMO, so those are the mechanics they're fixed on. But, like, making a dinner plate. If you're making a steak dinner, I can understand having some steak there, some mashed potatoes, maybe a little asparagus. But then if you throw on, like, a fucking Thai sauce coleslaw on the side with, like, honey dressing, like, what? You already had a good plate. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, and then, it's like they went. It's like we need a hacking mechanic. Okay, let's throw in a mini game. It's like a puzzle. Okay, but people playing a MMO shooter don't like mini games. We'll just make them really easy. Okay, no, just don't put them in there.
Yeah, don't just. If you want to hack, how about making it a timed thing, and then if you increase your stat, it decreases the time it takes for you to do the timed thing. That's a very simple MMO mechanic, and that would fit the genre more, and it would be a little bit more on character, because I can play a character that has no investment in hacking and do it every time. And you can play as someone that has everything in it, and that player still might have trouble with it. So why make that a mechanic at all? Just fucking take it out. It's so, Then there's
one thing that might add like another 30 minutes to an hour of interest in the game for you, and you might have already done this, and this has already been spent, but you said you have higher level friends. Do they have a dojo?
Yeah.
Which is a guild hall for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Have they built the obstacle course?
Yes.
Okay. Have you completed that? Because that was actually
I haven't done the obstacle course yet, but I have done some of the Orokin treasure hunts where you have to like start on a platform and then get to a door in a certain amount of time. Those, I would say, are probably one of the better things about the game, because it's a platforming system, and they're usually like platforming puzzles like, okay, you can bullet jump, you can double jump, you can wall jump. Those are the mechanics that you can use. Get from here to here in this amount of time, go. That is really satisfying. Problem, though, is if you don't make it, you then have to quit out of the mission, watch the failure screen, watch your XP tick up, get in the loading screen, get in your ship flying in, you come back to the relay, then you have to go back to the navigation bar, start the mission, count down 10, 9, 8, you get the picture. Like, you mess up once, well, now you gotta go back into that mission, and the mission doesn't start on the platform. You usually start at your ship, you have to run through a level, you get to the thing, and then have to do it. So, you mess up one time, and that door closes, you just wasted like 20 minutes of your life and got fuck all for it. Yep. And in a game where everything is about just collecting as many resources as fast as you can so that you have something whenever your shit stops building, that it's such a waste. It feels like, it makes you feel like crap.
Just punches you right in the dick. It's terrible. Like, I feel like when they made Warframe, they basically made like a pretty sweet, like $20 Steam game, and then we're like, yeah, it's an MMO, and people were like, wait, what? Because like this would be a sweet platformer if it's just like basically that level, and nothing outside of it. Just try to do the level. It's really hard. It's a really hard platforming level. Oh, you failed. Restart. Try again. You're gonna have to do this a whole bunch of times. It's really hard. Just go. Like, that'd be great.
Yeah. I do feel like there's... I wish I could be a level designer for them. Maybe that's a little bit egotistical, not to like shit on their level designers, because they look pretty. They don't have like weird clips in them. They're like structurally sound. You always know exactly where you need to go. It's never like super obscure. Like I'll say they know how to build a good level, but they don't know how to play to the audience. They have a great platforming game, and they made great shooter levels. Those levels would be 10 times better if they had more platforming and environmental elements in them, because your players have the tools to get around that. But as it stands right now, you could go to any level and not have to do a single advanced mechanic to progress through it. And especially in a game where they've structured it where you start off on this planet, and as you progress you move out to other planets, you would figure they would build in those mechanics as you branch out. But I've already invested, oh god, how much time into this? Too much time, I'll tell you that much. But 106 hours now. I put in 100 hours and I still haven't been to a single level where it was necessary for me to do an advanced mechanic to win, outside of those one things where you stand on the platform and get to the end. Those are the only ones. And those are optional.
The thing that weirds me, that I feel like they need to see a lot more of, is mobile enemies. Like, almost every enemy just walks slowly forward and shoots at you. And they'll run behind cover and then shoot at you. Like, that's their AI, is like, run behind cover and sit there and shoot at you while you're, like, going all over the fucking universe at 1,000 miles an hour. Like, I sort of wonder, like, what are you people doing? Like, how are you still alive? How have we not just killed every one of you? Because I'm looking at 30 of you right now, all with machine guns, and your fingers on the triggers for the whole time I've been saying this sentence, and I haven't been hit. Like, I could just walk over and, like, slap each one of you on the face, one after another, and I'd be fine. I don't understand here. Like, where are the enemy ninjas? Like,
well, they're there. They just instantly die. They're like the spy that's cloaked and gets fucking arrowed. You just
Yup. Like, I don't know. I want like some. Give me like a xenomorph. That's what they need. They need like a xenomorph enemy. Like from Aliens, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about.
Well,
just like things running across the ceiling and jumping down at you, and like that'd be great.
When I was discussing this with Mo, I brought up that I really like the S.H.I.E.L.D. characters because they're probably the only thing that you literally have to use 2 brain cells to kill. And, like, okay, so as a shooty character, you just have to pull out your explosive one, or you point at their toes if the toe's showing, or point at the head if the head's showing. Like, you have to think a little bit about that. Problem is, I play melee, so melee just doesn't get stopped by the shield for some reason. I can just walk up and swing at them, and it just always hits, so I'm not sure if
that
that's
would be the interesting one, because you'd have to, like, wall jump around them super fast and then hit them in the back before they could turn around.
Okay, even if so, you probably just slide attack through them, because slide attack is God. You want to kill everything in Warframe? Here's how you do it. You press W, Control, and then you left mouse click. And then you just spin to win. It's spin to win.
It is slightly more complicated than Pyro.
Yeah, there's
an extra button.
It's like a sneaky Pyro. You have to press Control on occasion. Oh, like just The movement's so good! Why don't they use it? The only reason you use it is to go, alright guys, we need to grind this level. We're gonna kill this boss 12 times in a row until everyone gets the drops they need. Okay, get to the boss. Everyone's just like doing fast movements.
Enemy.
Get to the boss. Skip. Okay, cinematics done. Good work, Tenno! Please return to the middle.
Race the ship, and everyone races the ship.
And then, 3 out of 4 players, and there's the one guy that missed a jump, and he bumped his head, and he's like, fuck. Okay, and then he gets
you like 13 seconds to get here. God damn it, Jeff.
And then you're like, wow, I did that mission in like 15 seconds. All right. And that's all that the movement system's used for. It's to just blow through the game when you want to. Because
the movement, like the best thing about the game, the movement system, is the thing you do when you got bored of the whole game. It's like, we can just walk through this level and shoot everything and we'll succeed. But we got bored halfway through, so we started doing wall jumps and sliding and, running back and forth around the enemy while shooting it much more slowly because we're moving really fast and it's harder to shoot them when you're moving fast.
Now, as much as I'm bitching right now about the game, I'm still going to keep playing it just because I'm told the in-game stuff is pretty fun. And I want to find that out. Because if it's anything like Diablo, I have a similar feeling about Diablo where I hate every aspect of it, but I still love every aspect of it. It's like the worst parts of any game ever assembled, but I love it. I gotta get the thing so I can kill the thing so I can get the thing on infinite. There's no end to it. You just keep going until you get bored of it, and that's just the truth. There's no end, so you can always go for more. You just have to kill the things and then hope you get the things so that you can kill the things. So I'm going to keep playing it because it has a similar end game, and I could see getting to the point where the enemies are difficult enough that I actually have to try to place headshots, try to position myself well, keep moving constantly. If I get to an end game that is actually incredibly challenging, I could use that movement system as my offense and defense, and it would have a lot more utility and engage me more. And I'm hoping I'm not just putting my hopes onto the game that that's how the end game is, but I want to find out.
Not to dampen it for you, because I don't know, and you should still find out firsthand. But what I've heard about the end game is that it is really challenging, which is why you always have to bring... It's kind of the Final Fantasy XI version of challenging, where it becomes... It's really, really, really super hard unless you have these 3 or 4 types of characters there to disable all the stuff that makes it hard. Like, you have to have this person there to stun lock the room, and this person there to give everyone infinite energy, and this person there to make... Basically, it's always like A, B, C, and... I forgot the name. I also pop it up.
Well,
I've installed it here. The character who can make everyone immortal forever.
Thankfully, I chose the character that decided to be invincible forever, so I'm good there. It's Valkyr.
Oh yeah.
I liked her simply because ridiculous amount of armor, and her 4th ability makes her invincible and has a native melee attack that's super strong. So yeah. I was like, oh, that character sounds exactly like the kind of shit I would love to do. Started playing it and then found out, like, you can really get a lot of energy generation and just be invincible for fucking ever. And I just now unlocked the Prime version of that. It's cooking in my foundry at the moment, so it's tomorrow afternoon or evening I'm probably going to play with what's going to be the most broken character, because I apparently have the most powerful melee weapon, and I'm going to have the most powerful invincible warframe, and I already have a bunch of stuff built for it from my last one. So I'm hoping this means we're immediately going to go from doing level stuff here to doing level stuff here, because I'm just expecting to be that broken, but, well, again, just have to see. But
I remember, finally, sorry, I was thinking of, because Valkyr is pretty sweet, but she makes herself invincible. Trinity Prime is what I was trying to think of. who makes your entire party have like a 95% damage reduction 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, all you do is stand around and do that. But yeah, that's from what I hear. It's basically like the in game is Trinity Prime plus the other ones you need for every level, which made me sort of feel bad that I started leveling Trinity Prime. It's like, wow, that sounds really boring.
Yeah.
I thought the character was interesting for the other 3 abilities she had.
There's a couple of them like that where I'm not sure if it was intentionally designed that one skill was just supposed to be their showstopper, but the energy differences in these skills sometimes don't make any sense, because there's like one skill that just costs a whole lot and it does next to nothing, and something that's pretty cheap and just seems incredible. It always seems to have something on the Warframe that just doesn't add up, and it makes you either not want to use it or you have to build entirely around it to make it worthwhile. And either way, it's just kind of like, why bother? Might as well just go play a different Warframe that does something similar, because there's plenty of them.
Yeah.
But, like you said, still gonna play it. I just have a lot of reservations about it at the same time. But, we're crackety old people, and that's what we do. We pick up games and go, I hate it, but I'm not gonna stop. And that brings me to Melee. I have Melee Online, and I have to say, what an amazing time we live in, where you can take a 16-year-old game and go, here's the keys to the car, son. Go out into the world, and he gets to be all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and go online and be Melee online.
I can't wait until Melee's 21. Then,
yeah.
We can have hookers and booze.
He's gonna come back from the internet a man. But seriously. Okay, I don't have the best connection, so I know that the problems I've had with it are pretty much all my own. It is fine, though. The way that they do it is you basically have 2 versions of the game on the same seed synchronized with button presses. And that way you have a little buffer, and they should stay synchronized for the most part. There's a little hiccup here and there. Again, probably just all on my end. But it's very playable. Now, there's a couple maneuvers that are very tight on frames, so anytime I attempt those, I have a very high chance of not doing it right. But I think a lot of that's just going to come from getting used to having that little bit of delay. However, outside of that, pretty amazing. The fact that I can go online, sit in a little lobby, see people from California, Nevada, Colorado, like at least close by states with a good connection, and go, oh, sure, let's hit you, and then hit them up, play a couple games, and then move on to someone else. It makes me happy, but it also makes me worried, because part of the reason why Melee has been able to survive is that face-to-face interaction. Sitting down next to somebody and playing with them. A lot of fighting games come in and out because you don't build lasting bonds with people. You just sit in a lobby, you play some people, and then you go. But those games have fucking fast meta progression because people are hammering out games all the time against people from all over the place. It's an easily recognizable trait in Melee that certain regions will have certain metas, and they'll be built around it. West Coast and East Coast meta in general is completely different ball games. West Coast is all about thrills and huge combos and setting up for the big hits in the mind games, whereas East Coast is all about like trained efficiency, being manipulative, and trying to hold down ground. It's not that either side doesn't have their own interpretations of that, but there's like different mindsets, and so you have different environments and like evolutionary patterns, and different things grow out of it. And online's going to kind of take away from that. And I'm not sure how I feel, because I really like the idea of being able to play whenever I want, but I kind of don't like the idea of losing that personal interaction. Like just last night I played someone that was super salty, I think, just because I beat them in a game with Roy, and then the next game they like super try hard and I beat them again, and then they started like consistently beating my Roy, and the whole time they were beating him, they just kept on taunting, and I was like, okay. I think I taunted once after one kill with Roy, after a counter, I think, and then after that he was done.
Wired, like that's muscle memory is like counter. It actually worked taunt.
Not to mention net play counter with Roy. Like that window is already this short for his counter. You got to be like 6 frames ahead, know that move's gonna come out, and then still time it right to count. Yeah, fuck you.
At that point, you're not playing Melee. You're playing chess. Like, all right, in 13 moves, Queen's gonna be there.
It doesn't help that I already base way too much of my playstyle on reads instead of reaction. This is only going to reinforce that problem even more, because I'm just going to be like, oh, they're probably going to do this, and then throw something out there, and then either be super right or super wrong. I've also had my moves eaten a lot, where I'll go to do an input, and then it lags a little, and instead of just doing it on the next frame, it seems to just not do the input at all, which is sometimes a blessing and sometimes a curse. Like, I need to up B right now. I didn't. Shit. Or, I need to jump right now, and then the other person does like a flying kick and I didn't jump, and I'm like, okay. Punch! I'll take it.
You're right, game.
But, yeah, being able to just come home from work, sit down, plug in my controller, and be like, I'm going to play a couple games of Melee just to keep me fresh. I mean, it's moving my fingers. I get like an hour or so of Melee in a night. It feels nice, so I'm going to keep at it. And also see if I can call up Cox or Century or Link or whoever we've got and be like, yo, my consistency of service is not good enough. We need to work on this. So, I think we should probably play a game now. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream and play a game. It has already been pretty choppy on your camera, just having Skype and this open. Okay. But let's see, I'll still give it a try. Also, I haven't played Gigantic yet, so I'm going to be a total noob face, noob lord.
Do you want... Well, no, that'd be terrible for your connection then. I was gonna say I could like co-pilot you, but you have to stream. You have to like double stream for me to do that. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. Same problem.
So, yeah.
But let's see. So let's pop open Gigantic and see if I go into the red. Let's minimize YouTubes. The application is running. Oh. Okay. So it's telling me the game is already running, but it's not running.
Task manager.
Oh god, your face got my task manager. Let go.
Oh no.
Arc update. Arc chat. End. Alright, Arc Steam Helper. Yeah, you know what? Just get rid of all that. And there's another Arc thing. It had like 5 things open. Arc.
Oh.
Arc.
I don't know. I'm running on the Windows 10 client, so I don't know. I don't know what the Arc client's like.
We'll see. I'm just going to open it from my desktop instead of through Steam, because I've got a little clicky thing for it. Ooh. Alright, I think we're there. It's not responding. Hello. Is there anybody in there? Oh, yep, there's the game. Alright.
Awesome.
So signing in. Let's see if I can move over to it. Oh god, we need to edit the screen. All of my settings. Skype window. Oh god. Delete. Yeah, sure. I accept this agreement. I don't know what I agreed to. You can't blame me. You can't read all that stuff in one day.
Nope. Now I have to remember how to add you to my friends list.
Yeah, you think it's 2017 and that wouldn't be a concern when playing new games, but it is. How do I get it so that I can talk to people? The game capture, you could be the whole screen. And you need to be the game. Refresh.
So on the Arc client, do you still use a like Microsoft account, like a Xbox Live account, or do they circumvent that altogether?
I don't think so. Especially since I don't think I would have registered that with my Apple Smosh name. That would have been like Corey Games from forever ago.
Okay.
Okay, so first you must complete the tutorial before playing other game modes. I understand. Yes, we'll begin the tutorial now. Alright, game capture.
Figure out how to friend you.
Properties. Can we select the application? It's not Dead Cells. I told you to refresh that list. Can you do that for me? Well, let's add in a game capture and call this game. It does not recognize Gigantic as a game.
Well, that's rude.
Settings? We'll get this. I don't want to have to end the cast because I can't get this, but we'll get this. Oh. Are you shitting me? What the fuck? Okay, quit. Yes. For some reason, OBS just is not getting this. Okay, so you know what? Maybe we won't do game capture. Maybe what we need is a window capture.
It's actually how I had to do it. I thought I was just a OBS noob, but I couldn't get it to get gigantic, whether it was in windowed mode or full screen. I had to do a screen capture, and then it would work.
I may have to do that. Doesn't look like it's doing a windowed one either. Alright. So, monitor capture. This one will be right screen. Holding it down for us. Monitor number 1. Are you monitor number 1? Yes, you are monitor number 1. And how does it look? It looks awful. I don't see anything on the screen. Aside from my desktop. Okay, so, we need to video capture device. Order you to the front. People need to see my face as I scramble. And we need Derek's face. So he can just smile at me as I fail. Yep. Subregion, select that shit again. Did you ever end up watching Star vs. the Forces of Evil?
No, I haven't checked it out yet.
I would
Fun.
Still highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's kind of on my mental list to check out. Is it on any streaming service?
I believe it's on Hulu. I think that's where we watched it.
Okay.
I'm almost certain of it. Okay, so I'm gonna try closing and reopening Gigantic and see if that helps. Exit, yes. Everyone gets to see my background. Oh, you know what? I can show you my map. Unless I can't, because for some reason it got corrupted. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to show you the master map because spoilers to anyone that may be watching. It's got the rest of my island on it.
Yeah.
You know, I have my overlay from back in the day. By the way, this is the thing that saved my computer. So, I've been having memory problems forever, as you probably know if you've watched the show. And, oh, look, it's not recording it. What do you not like about this? Is it that it's full screen? Can I do something to make you happy? Just tell me, baby. This? That's something. Alright. Begin tutorial now. Okay, so I'm in. I think there's supposed to be a thing here. So I know what I'm selecting. I'm just gonna... Ooh, Eternal Master. Cool. Badlands? You know what? That sounds like a fun place to be. Oh, I can change my hero. Fantastic. The best. I can be a robot. I can be... a thing? No, I want to be a robot. Oh, mobility is low though. No, fuck that.
On a side note, it seems like what I need to do is download the Arc client, because...
okay.
I don't think the Windows 10 client connects to the Arc and Steam universe of Gigantic.
Oh, that's lame.
I think there's a Windows 10 and Xbox sort of world, and an Arc and Steam, because Steam is apparently just launching the Arc client through Steam, so it's the same thing. I thought they connected them all together, but they didn't apparently, so I'm gonna look a little further, but...
Control does something, but I'm sure I'll learn about that later. Let's do some Q. Alright, super jump, like that. And Meteor Storm. Alright. Let's... Ah, I can level. Okay. Oh, there's so many choices. Gain a third charge stage, that's cool. And fully charged direct hits burn foes, nice. Gain projectile deflection. You can hold it longer. You can get basic stat increase for each kill without dying. Oh, that sounds like that would get pretty good.
Unless you die a lot.
Yeah. Fireball charges faster. Dive down.
I play him some. He's kind of my easy mode character, because he's just good and not difficult to play. I build him in kind of the higher skill cap mode, which is where, basically I upgrade his first ability, so when you land direct hits with the fireballs, it does more damage and lights them on fire. Or it lights them on fire, and then it does more damage to enemies who are on fire. I would say go that route with his first skill, because it's stronger, as opposed to... It's stronger but harder to use, as opposed to making it easier to use but not stronger.
Okay, sprint. So. Shift press that to dodge away. Okay. need to hold that down so I can keep on doing. Dodge. Oh, I'm out of stamina. Nice.
I was about to say, jumping, sprinting, and dodging, and using abilities all use stamina. It's kind of an interesting mechanic. You don't need stamina to use abilities, but using abilities uses up stamina. So if you spam a lot, you can't sprint or dodge. Also, don't bunny hop. It's a habit I have to keep re-breaking myself of, because you'll spend your whole life with no stamina, as you will see if you watch my last video of me playing some Gigantic.
Okay. So jumping uses stamina?
Yeah. If you're out of stamina, you can't dodge, you can't sprint, and your jump height is like halved. You can still spam abilities, but spamming abilities uses up stamina.
Guardians gain power when we kill enemies.
So it'll keep you from being mobile.
Yes, but most is drawn from the land itself. Leyren will show us when and where we can channel power to her. On our side of the battlefield, we can also summon creatures to gather power for us.
While you can't summon most creatures on enemy points, you can always nab that power.
Okay, so you make
When
neutral
she has
mobs.
enough power to rampage, we must attack with her.
Yes.
She'll hold
Yeah,
Gren down briefly.
they will guard the point,
That's our only chance to damage
and
him.
whenever an
So if
orb
she attacks
appears,
and we
they'll
don't
automatically
correct it,
collect it.
we wasted
An
our
orb is
attack.
worth 20 energy.
Exactly. We need to wound
Killing
that
an
monster
enemy
while
creature
we
is
can.
also worth 20 energy.
3 wounds for victory.
Killing an enemy player is worth 10.
Follow me.
Upgrading a creature is also worth 20 energy.
Leyren will show us when and where we can channel
The
power
energy
to her.
race is the real
On
main
our
thing.
side of the battlefield,
It's easy to get
we can
distracted by
also
the
summon
stuff,
creatures to
but
gather power
if
for
you don't get
us.
energy first, they get rampage and they beat up your guardian.
Well done. Summon here.
Heal us. Why not?
Well done. Follow me.
I can assume.
Controlling the battlefield helps Leyren gain power. But we shouldn't try to hold the whole map. We should summon creatures on our power circles to secure them. And remember, if the creature dies, that's a kill for the enemy, which gives them power. Don't summon a creature you can't defend.
That's an interesting mechanic. So you can't just build things and forget about them necessarily. Or does that pretty much how it ends up?
You mean like hanging around to make them build faster?
No, just to protect them from getting
Handy little
destroyed.
pet.
Oh yeah, you
Spread out!
basically early game you're actually in general you're usually pushing enemy points. You're trying to get in and kill their creatures. That's kind of the main objectives. You'll get into some skirmishes, but like
Attack my mark!
early game, if you can rush in
Let's bring the
on
fight to them and take out that
a baby
creature.
creature, because there's 2 levels, the baby and the adult version. The adult version is significantly stronger. But if you can get 2 people to rush in on a baby creature after someone just built it and left it there, so they can take it down pretty quickly. There's not a massive level of power increase based on level. So like late game, it's not like MOBAs, where late game you are exponentially more powerful than you were at level 1. It's more of kind of a really shallow linear increase.
Oh yeah. Leveling up. Oh, it wants me to turn up the heat.
Oh boy! A power circle is unguarded. We should nab that power.
Chain projectile perfection. Huh. Hui. Huh. I want to collect it.
Well done. Now that
Okay.
Leyren has full power, she's moving in for the attack.
Go ahead.
She will expose Gren's life gem and keep him pinned as long as her power holds out. Let's make it count. Strike the life gem. That's 1 down. Wounding him twice more will win the day.
Yay.
Listen up, chums. The final moments before a rampage are critical. As the Guardians reach full power, we need to be able to read the situation and react. When Leyrin pins Gren, that's our moment to strike. Getting kills during this time allows Leyrin to hold down Gren even longer. When the enemy Guardian rampages, any power we gained becomes a defensive shield. Also, you should know that the attacking Guardian can automatically deal a wound if the defending Guardian's health is low enough. Whatever you do, make sure you're healthy before going for the wound. You're going to need everything you've got to bring that monster down.
So you can, like, pick away at the Guardian beforehand.
No, you can't hurt the Guardian until there's a rampage.
Oh, okay, so if on the last time you got it pretty far down, then the next time it just automatically... Oh, shit, it's already...
Yeah. So the Guardian's got 3 wounds. The wounds don't heal. Basically, they have 3 HP bars, and they'll stay however they are. So if you get a rampage and you can take out 3/4 of... So say you can take out half of a wound, and then they break out, because the enemy team held you off from getting there or whatever. The next time you get a rampage, their HP will be right where it was. Except when your Guardian tackles the enemy Guardian, they do an instant amount of damage. So if the enemy Guardian's at, like, I think around 20% or less, maybe 25% or less, it'll be an auto wound, where your Guardian will just tackle them. They'll take a wound, and then they'll immediately break out. Because they always break out when they take a wound. So if your Guardian tackles them and they have like 2% health left and one person shoots them, that's the end of that wound and the rampage ends. So it's there are stops there to where you can't just like take out half their health and the other half to win. It's always going to be at least 3 rampages to win. That said, when it's the energy race. Like if you build up 90 energy and then the enemies get 100, that 90 energy isn't wasted. It gives your Guardian a shield that will protect them for a little bit based on how much energy you had. So still way less useful than getting the rampage, but it's not totally wasted.
Die! Yeah! Come here, we'll jump on your face! Okay, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop that.
Here's the straight talk on focus. If you're in a real pinch, unleashing your focus can change the tide of battle. The more you fight, the faster you gain focus. There are 3 levels of focus, with each stage being more powerful than the last. Unleashing your focus will deplete all the charges, so don't be a knucklehead and waste it. Focus isn't just useful in fights. It can also be used to turn baby creatures into adults. Some adult creatures cost more focus than others, so make sure you have enough.
Okay. Okay, so how about we reveal them enemies? They'll always be sneaking around here. So I can't see what that button is.
Which button are you looking for?
Prime your... Oh, focus is up.
Yes.
Oh, I used it. Do I have to choose this?
I don't know. I'm gonna delay for your stream, even the YouTube version.
Actual meteor strike, sure. Alright, now let's get back over here. Fully charged reduces damage and size of the explosion radius. When fully charged, hitting an enemy gives 4% basic attack damage. Loses bonus if any left attack misses. Oh! So it can set. Okay, maximum of 12, so only 3 in a row.
Yeah, I like the other one where direct hits light them on fire, and then hits on burning enemies do a fair bit extra damage. Because also, like, all of your abilities light people on fire, so.
Oh, gain focus when a foe dies from burning? That's cool. Okay. Well, in that case then... How do I gain focus?
Basically doing things that help you in the game. Damaging enemies, damaging creatures, damaging the enemy guardian. I don't think you automatically gain focus from healing allies or buffing them, but there are usually upgrades or perks that give support characters that ability. Or maybe you always have it and you get more. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. My foes?
For the Guardians,
Okay.
this is a fight over their bond with the land.
I mean,
It's a duel.
it
Before the
seems
battle
pretty
is over,
strong,
expect them to call for a final
I
clash.
guess.
They will both charge forward, moving
your
power circles
focus?
and creatures with them. The smaller battlefield increases the danger for all of us. Remember, we are
Yeah,
always
his
trying to
focus is
win
really
power
strong.
race
It's an
over
area
following and attacking a
knock
guardian.
up that does a pile of
The
damage and
clash
lights everyone on
continues
fire.
until only one guardian remains. All right, you heard the plan. Let's move out.
So yeah, I've been doing research while I've been commentating on your questions. It seems like Xbox One and Windows 10 client versions of the game can crossplay together. And the Arc client, which is also Steam, works on Windows 7, 8, and 10. And they can play together, but there are two separate like groups of the game. I need to download the Arc clients, and I think I have to start over because they had a temporary. I think they had two time periods when they would do an account transfer, and those times are not now. So I'll probably have to start over. I started over once already because I was in the beta, so not a huge deal. But I am level like 28. So it's not nothing.
Well, hi.
Well, I wouldn't want you to do it just because of me. Does seem like a pretty interesting game. I like the take on MOBA.
Yeah, it has a bunch of MOBA elements and some MOBA feel, but it's definitely a very unique game from any MOBA I've played. It is a lot more arena combat style than just like MOBA. I like it a ton. I'm gonna get the Arc client anyway because that seems to be the place to be between the two game universes. Seems to be the preferred one among players, so that's where you want to be in a multiplayer game.
Alright. Just giving a look at all these characters.
They're a bunch of fun ones.
Pull an enemy towards you, I like that. And he's got melee combos.
Who are you looking at? Wu.
Woo.
Wu is a ton of fun. So the ones I am the most familiar with, I play a lot of Taito. Taito's great. Also very cheap, one of the kind of intro characters, but he's got a pretty high skill cap. He's just not kind of a lower barrier for entry. He's a very high mobility melee character. Wu, so Taito's really mobile. He can like jump around, jump on top of enemies and beat them up and jump away. Wu is kind of like Taito, except he's sort of all in and cranked up to 11. Like he's as mobile, but pretty much all of his mobility is based around jumping on your opponent, not running away. This is really poignant because I build Taito in kind of a some people would say a wimpy and less powerful version, but I take one of his abilities, Swoop, where he basically jumps. You ground target a very, very small, like, character-sized area on the ground, and he leaps at it, and when he hits there, he will attack, and that attack does a bunch of damage. And you can upgrade it so it's like an execute and does a whole bunch of damage. Usually people make that their primary kill, where you, like, you know, wait for your allies to whittle someone out and then jump in and kill them and bail out. I play him more like an annoyance scout from TF2, where your whole purpose is to get people to fight you, which is always a terrible idea because you'll just run away halfway through the fight. And I upgrade Swoop so it doubles the range, so it's really long and halves the cooldown time, but makes it not attack anymore. So it's just an escape ability, but it's a super powerful escape ability because you can upgrade it a second time to where it breaks all CC. Like all CC, even almost every single thing. There's like one kind of CC that's only in, I think, one or two people's focus abilities, which is the only way. So if you're stunned, dazed, slowed, like restrained, any of it, you just hit the button and go leaping across the screen out of there, and don't give two shits. It's great. So that's how I build him. I just build everything else on damage, so I can basically jump in and play like an idiot. I can just go ham anytime I want to because I always have a get out of jail free card. So that's how I play him. Wu can do tons of leaping around and jumping on people, but all of his stuff is pretty much jump on top of their face or pull their face into your face.
Okay, well, out of these, the ones that caught my eye the most was Wu. I like the crowd control. Look at it. There's armor reduction, knock up, slow, disable. That is a lot of things you could do to people.
On Wu? Yeah.
No, on Zenobia.
Oh, Zenobia, yeah. Yeah, remember I can only see you on the stream. So like 30 seconds point. Yeah, Zenobia is one of my favorites. She has the ability to put every debuff in the game on enemies, all by herself. Mm-hmm. That's her thing. She just makes everyone suck. And she sucks. She does a whole lot of life tap. She sucks life out of people with like, depending on how you upgrade, she can have like 3 life taps. I think it's really good.
Actually, I think I looked at your skills.
No more questions.
The Vodin.
Vodin's cool. He's a lot like Sven. Sven's another character I play, so I keep referencing other people. I think I might actually own Sven and Vodin, but he's like a support archer. It's pretty fun. He's got some healing. He can also give people a super jump, and he can damage people. You can build him for poison damage. He can be really tricky. He's really, really slippery if you build his Green Man decoy ability.
Where's the body?
Because you can have it turn you invisible and create a copy that'll run off in a random direction and give you a speed boost while you're invisible.
I'm going to guess they're constantly releasing new characters, or...
Not constantly, but they have released several new characters. There were... Initially, basically, they have released 4 new characters after the initial, like, 10 or so. 2, 4, 6, 7, 12, 14, wait, no. It went from 16 to 20, that's what it was. I believe. Or, like, 17 to 21, whatever it is. Maybe they've released more than 4 characters now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, they have released 5 new characters after the initial 16, so... Trip is one you should look at. I feel like you might like her a lot. She's super fast melee assassin with an invisibility and a couple of escapes. Oh, and she's free right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does boatloads of damage and is really mobile. Pretty squishy, but I mean, you're probably used to being able to kill anything you get on top of and dying if they look at you.
Yeah, I wanted to play the crowd control bitch, but I get the feeling that playing against a bunch of bots, I just want to do the most damage that I can really quickly. I'm not sure how good their AI is, but I would imagine probably not going to be as interested in crowd controlling as I would punch you in the face with a piece of metal.
Yeah. She's a lot of fun. Excuse me. I have never played against bots in this game, so I don't know what it's like.
Oh boy. We got some toaster players. Haven't even started loading. Okay, so I know that the third guy from the bottom on the right side is a heavy defense guy. I know that I played as that Charnock, so I know what he does.
You're playing Trip, she's an assassin. Yep. Zenobia. Mozu's cool. Mozu is a really, really slippery, ranged damage dealer. She's a goblin, flavor-wise, she's a goblin who has 3 magic wands. But she, like, machine guns little lightning bolts at people and can drop some more powerful, like, laser beam attacks. But she has a teleport that's awesome, super long range, and a little, like, shield she can summon in front of her to protect her from enemy fire and slow down enemies and stuff, depending on how she upgrades it. But she's squishy and high damage, so good target to jump on top of and squish. They, I believe, haven't followed the patch notes much at all over the past, like, year-ish of me having horrible internet, but Trip used to be really OP and really frustrating because she had, like, 2 stuns and a knockup on top of being a melee assassin. So, but yeah, keep moving and learn to dodge. Dodging is really important, and I always learn to dodge.
Took your shit.
Oh yeah, this is like Hawken, where you kill things and get healed for it.
Oh, okay.
They drop a health orb when they die.
Okay, don't look at me then.
And that's an orb that you can steal now. It'll give you a rampage. Or, well, you already got a rampage, just looking at 30 seconds ago. But...
Oh, I was stuck in the air! Alright, wounded. Oh, move, 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 move!
I'm just listening to you basically getting spoilers for the game I'm watching. Like, oh, something bad's gonna happen in a moment. Let's watch.
You know what I should probably do is level.
Yeah, that's easy to forget.
Yeah, fuck stealthing.
Big invisibles for losers. Nobody likes that.
Yeah, seriously.
It should be fun.
And electric slide. Attack now automatically crits? Fuck yeah.
Yes. Most of the melee characters have some kind of ability where it'll buff their first attack after you dodge, and that's usually really strong, especially if it turns it into a lunge. It gives you a bunch of mobility. I know Taito has that, and at least a couple others have it. I don't remember if she does. I don't actually play... what's her face? It's just blanked on her name that I said like 4 minutes ago. Trip. There we go. I don't actually play Trip that much. I have played her.
Ah, my clicks were better. Oh, my clicks aren't as good as that. Oh! Dodge! 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 Yes. something? I guess I'll run. I'll run. Hey, come here, you. Heal me with your lasers of love. Oh god! Auto crit. Save me, save me, save me. Hurt them, hurt them! Got it. Okay, Rampage, where are we going? There we are. Yeah, I will strike down your rival. You'll like it. After I do this. Okay, never mind. We need to go attack. Bye. Invisible. Ah, you didn't see me coming. And more than good. Yeah. Oh, hi. Gotcha. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Click, 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 dead. Click, 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 dead. Alright, you know what? Let's just... I can't do that. Okay, you. Throw more daggers, sure. Yeah, crit, I saw that word. Basic attack damage, sure. Yeah. And, this thing, yeah. I don't know what I clicked, but I clicked it.
Oh yeah, her focus is stupid good. That's her... She still has that, which I believe stuns them, unless they changed it altogether.
I've got you now! Ow, ow, ow. I'm invisible. Ow, wait. Wait for our friends. Aha! Oh god! Give me that health. Oh, defend. Oh, I guess it was fine. Oh, I'm missing out. Ah, it's fine. I can do this. Oh no, I can't. They need my help. I can dance. I'm clicking. Oh, I could not click fast enough. Oh god, oh god, oh god. It happened again. So what did I click over here? Right mouse, plasma blades, bleeding deals double damage. Okay. I'll have to right mouse click more. Alright, so I understand the importance of hitting the enemy, because going through this shit again just to get your chance to attack, yeah.
Yeah. When it's time for Rampage, get your shit together and get in there. Basically.
I did feel like the only one there.
Have a dagger.
It's because it's a bot game and no one ever, like in any game ever, in a bot game, no one ever wants to finish it. They just want to keep getting more, win more, before they actually win. Oh yeah, I haven't mentioned the Clash. Are you familiar with the mechanic, the Clash?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything's closer.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that mechanic. Like, it's one of the few times I've seen a mechanic that helps you come from behind into victories without...
Oh my god. I didn't even notice I was getting hit until I was dead.
Did you get killed by Mozu? Or...
Yeah. Again.
Yeah, just do a little machine gun. Lightning bolts. Not always obvious. Lightning bolts are... She shoots little particle effects at you really fast.
We're going... Oh, okay, we won.
Victory is ours.
Auto wound.
I got 74 crowns, 250 trophies, 750 more crowns, 500 more crowns and some blue stars. Level up Outlander. Mastery rank 1 for Trip. Look at all the shit I got. I'm so amazing. Look, I'm the best of my class. most efficient team award, most damage to enemy guardian, 4K. Yeah, I'm pretty much the best thing that's ever touched this game. That's what I'm seeing here. Look at all those assists. 69. Perfect. I had the only orb. No one else got an orb. Did we forget about that?
It's usually pretty hard to get because normally you only take them yourself when you kill an enemy creature and then steal one of the enemy team's orbs. Otherwise, your critters get them for you.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm glad that I tried doing this because it's a pretty fun game. I can see sinking some time into this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I'd feel about playing with randos, which is the ultimate problem with any team-related game, but I don't know. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm installing the Arc client right now, so I can play over there. I can technically keep both and jump back and forth, but it sounds like Arc is where I want to be, so...
Yep. I don't see myself doing Windows 10 in the future, nor am I going to play it on an Xbox, so I'm probably going to be playing it right here. You know what? I could try to show you some Melee before we go. I could play one game. Actually, see, does my headset still work? Alright, I don't need the USB thing plugged in for it. That is actually good information. I thought that's where it was getting its power from.
It's probably about time for me to call it a night, because I do have to work tomorrow. It's different time zone for me.
That is true. Alright, in that case then, let's just call it here, maybe some other time.
Yeah, I'll get stuff installed. We'll play some Duo Q Gigantic soon. We'll both be noobs and we can beat up all the...
Is it always 5v5 or do they also have a 3v3 format or something like that?
It is right now all 5v5.
Okay.
Which works pretty well, but yeah. I don't know if they have plans for other game types. They've mentioned doing that. So I think they still just have the 3 maps. I don't think they've added any more maps. So I don't know if they're working on an alternate game mode or just another map for the 5v5 game mode. Because each map does play noticeably differently, even though it's all the same mode.
That's good. That actually means there's some variety in there and more than just literal mechanics, but in how they supply it to you. It's good. Well, I think that brings us to the end. I did say we were going to talk about the Extra Life campaign. I don't think we actually got to it, but it is still going on. That is going to be the weekend of October the 21st, I believe.
Yes, I think we're still deciding. Well, the weekend of, the 21st. So we're still deciding if it's going to be Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday. Which I need to bug Mo about, because I need to start requesting time off from work.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah.
Yep, it's going to be that weekend. We're going to be playing games for charity. There's going to be donation incentives. Mo isn't going to be appearing much on the stream because he's going to be managing the donations and the hookups, so don't be alarmed if you're there for him. We'll still drag him in front of the screen on occasion. We'll probably be doing drinks with him too, so he's not going to be missing out on the fun, and you'll still get to have your little huggable Mo Bear, so don't worry about it. But there's also going to be a larger gathering of our circle of friends, games, drinks, D&D eventually. It's going to be fun. So
yep, Vigima games, board games, and D&D, so scratching every itch you've got.
And hopefully all of it for a good cause, and we'll make more than we made last year.
Yeah. Last year, we increased our donations received by 500, or no, by 200%, 2,000%, by 2,000%, yes, compared to the year before. So let's do that again. Mm-hmm. Another, just keep the line at a straight diagonal, 2,000% increase.
You know, there's been a lot of inflation in 1 year. We could probably do it.
True.
Let's just destroy the economy before then to make it all possible.
If we accidentally put the entire United States economy into the Children's Miracle Network, I think that's a good mistake.
Mm. Well, do you have anything else to plug, Derek?
Another random shout out from earlier. The papercraft thing I was going off about. is Fat Dragon Games. Check them out. They're awesome. Great budget way to get cool props. If you're lucky enough to have a 3D printer, they also have awesome 3D printer files as well. There's cool stuff. Check those out. And play Gigantic. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And if you're interested in playing Melee online, I would suggest you get yourself one of these. It's a like $20 adapter for USB to GameCube. It's called a Mayflash. You can get from Amazon. And to set up NetPlay, go to Anthers Ladder. Google that. I think it's like smashnetplay.com. I'm not going to bring it up now, but seriously, just Google Anthers Ladder and get all of the NetPlay stuff and play yourself some Melee. It's awesome. I'm sure if you're in a remote area of the world and you can't find people to play with, you would take that over nothing. Save yourself. And thank you for joining us on the Secret Cal Level podcast. We will see you next time, hopefully more consistently on a weekly basis.
Yes.
Should we shoot for Monday?
Let's try for Monday. Maybe we'll do a Gigantic and we'll talk about things.
We're going to see you on Monday.
Monday. We'll just do
it. All right, some outro music.